If you're a self-taught music producer, chances are you make one of these mistakes. They make you feel frustrated, overwhelmed, and will wreck your progress when trying to finish tracks. When my clients have fixed these mistakes, their progress has improved dramatically. So in this video, I will show you what these mistakes are, explain why they're holding you back from finishing tracks consistently, and give you simple steps to fix them. Imagine you want to learn how to swim. Instead of hiring a coach and jumping into the water, you spend hours watching tutorials about the perfect stroke technique, breathing exercises, and how Olympic swimmers train. But when you're about to jump into the pool, you freeze because you haven't actually practiced anything. That's exactly what happens when you watch too many music production tutorials. You feel very productive because you're absorbing a lot of information. But in the book Willpower Doesn't Work, the author Benjamin Hardy quotes, "Acquiring knowledge isn't learning." Watching a lot of tutorials can make you feel overwhelmed from the sheer amount of information, and you end up with loads of bits of information that got lost in the process. Music production is a skill, and like any skill, you need practice to get better. One thing I recommend my clients do is use the 80-20 rule. Spend 80% of the time producing and only 20% of the time learning. So mistake number one is watching tutorials without purpose. This leads me to the second mistake. One of my clients had this problem. He would come up with great 8 or 16 bar loops, but had no idea where to take it from there. So he would tweak random elements of his track, hoping that something would work, and eventually get frustrated when it didn't sound like a proper track. He ended up having loads of unfinished projects on his hard drive. Can you relate to this? It's like when you're building a house without a blueprint. Imagine putting some bricks and wooden beams together, then assembling the windows and pouring concrete when it feels right. You might end up with something, but it won't be stable and the house won't last long. And here's the real problem. The more unfinished tracks you have, the more frustrated you get, and that leads to creative burnout. And you end up wasting a lot of time on experimentation that doesn't lead to progress. The fix is really simple. When you sit in your studio to work on music, ask yourself, what am I making today? Is it a rolling bass line, a high energy drop, a percussion line? Define what elements you want to produce and make a little plan in your head for executing it. In my course Start to Finish, you will get my entire track creation blueprint, so you're always working with purpose. I will talk about that later in the video though. So mistake number 2 is producing without a plan. So you all want to make better music, stay creative, and finish track faster, right? Most producers think they need to spend more time in front of your screen making music, grinding for hours every day. I used to do that too. I thought that if I push myself harder and spend more time making music, I will get better. It kind of makes sense, no? But instead of making progress, I would hit the wall. My ideas all started to sound the same. My eyes and ears got tired, and I felt completely drained. It's like if you went to the gym and lifted weights every day without proper rest. Your muscles won't recover in time for the next workout, and you're risking getting injured. Big artists aren't grinding 24/7. They take frequent breaks, step away from the tracks, and come back to them with fresh ears. It's why it took Daft Punk 5 years to complete Random Access Memories, and it took Justice 8 years to complete Hyperdrama. So a research by Shofty et al. From 2024 has shown a direct link between the default mode network and creativity. The DMN, Default Mode Network, is a network of different brain regions that become active during rest periods or when you daydream, and plays a big role in creative thinking and problem solving. Basically, when producing, take a short break once an hour and take one day off during the week. On that day, try not to use your phone or any other devices, as you want to let your brain wander. I really enjoy painting. Not that I know how to paint, but I got this thing where each number has its own color. Paint by numbers, it's called. I would highly recommend. The best music you make isn't when you're forcing creativity. So mistake number 3 is not taking enough rest. The fourth mistake self-taught music producers do could be the missing link for getting radio quality tracks. One of my clients has been producing for years, but always felt like his mixes lacked that professional edge. He always ended up with a muddy and muffled mix, and he didn't know why. But when he fixed this, he got booked for more DJ sets than ever before and released tracks on major record labels. It's easy to assume that pro artists use complex processing chains to achieve a clean and punchy sound. But in reality, great sounds start at the source. If you choose sounds that naturally fit together without any processing, you won't have the need to overprocess them with shitloads of plugins. Over-EQing can make your sound feel thin or hollow, and overcompression can suck the life out of sounds, making them feel flat. The best producers don't fix bad sounds. They choose great ones and process them if there is a need to do so. So try to choose sounds that fit together without any EQ or compression. So mistake number 4 is trying to fix bad sounds. Most producers make the next mistake in the beginning of the journey. I definitely have. And it was the reason why I ended up with so many unfinished tracks. Think about the house analogy from earlier. If you add glass walls, a rooftop garden, and high-end decor before building the foundations, the house will collapse and all your fancy work will go to waste. That's what happens when you use advanced production techniques before nailing the fundamentals. When you don't have a solid foundation for your track, using mid-side EQ, multi-band compression, and fancy granular synth techniques won't help much. The solution is simple. Build your track in layers, like a house. I start with the frame of the track first, the core elements of the track, the kick, bass, snare, clap, and percussions. Then I shape the arrangement and write the track into that. And just then I refine all the parts with advanced production techniques. If you want to know all the 12 steps of the blueprint, what to do in each step, and learn a simple system to finish every track you start, then check the link in the description. But if you have the feeling that your music still sucks and you're not sure why, you have to watch the next video, as I will explain why your music sucks and how you can fix it. See you then.